Rust tutorial number 5. Borrowing and references. In the last video, we learned ownership. Now we learn how to use data without taking ownership of it. What if a function only needs to read data? You should not have to move ownership every time. Borrowing lets you use a value without taking ownership. The value stays with the original owner. A reference is like a pointer. It points to data owned by someone else. But unlike raw pointers in C, Rust references are always valid. The compiler guarantees this at compile time. You create a reference with the ampersand symbol. Pass ampersand name to a function, and the function borrows the string. It can read it, but does not own it. When the function ends, nothing is dropped. By default, references are immutable. You can read data, but not change it. This is safe because nobody is modifying the data. You can have many immutable references at the same time. Think of immutable borrowing like a library book that many people can read at the same time. As long as nobody is writing in it, any number of readers is fine. To modify borrowed data, you need a mutable reference using ampersand mut. 3 things are required. The variable must be declared mut. The reference must use ampersand mut. The function parameter must accept ampersand mut. Rust enforces 2 borrowing rules at compile time. Rule 1. You can have either one mutable reference or any number of immutable references, but not both at the same time. Rule 2. References must always be valid. No dangling references allowed. If you try to return a reference to a local variable, the compiler stops you because that memory would be freed. Why does Rule 1 exist? It prevents data races at compile time. A data race happens when 2 pointers access the same data and at least one is writing. In C, these bugs are nearly impossible to find. The Rust compiler is smart about lifetimes. A reference lifetime ends at its last use, not at the end of the block. So you can use immutable references, finish with them, then create a mutable reference. A dangling reference points to freed memory. Rust prevents this. If you try to return a reference to a local variable, the compiler gives an error. The fix is to return the owned value instead. String slices, written &str, are references to part of a string. Using &str as a function parameter is more flexible than &string. It accepts both owned strings and string literals. Here is a practical example. A function takes a mutable reference to a vec of strings and filters it in place. The function borrows the vec, modifies it, and returns. The caller still owns the data. References work with primitive types too. Sometimes you want a function to modify the original value. Use &mut i32 as the parameter type and the star operator to dereference and modify. A common mistake is modifying a collection while iterating over it. The loop holds an immutable borrow, so you cannot also borrow mutably. Collect what you need first, then modify after the loop. Another common mistake is returning a reference to a local variable. The local is dropped when the function ends, so the reference would be dangling. Return the owned value instead. Sometimes the compiler needs help figuring out how long references live. This is what lifetime annotations are for. The tika syntax tells the compiler the relationship between reference lifetimes. Here is a summary. Immutable references use &t, and you can have many at once. Mutable references use &mut t, and only one is allowed at a time. The compiler prevents all dangling references. In the next video, we learn structs and methods. This is where Rust starts to feel like a real application language. You will create your own types and attach behavior to them.